Good morning. I've had several people ask me how you make tofu, so today I'm going to make a little video. If I come to my work surface, I'll show you that I'm first of all using Morrison's organic own brand unsweetened soya milk. It's important that this product is organic. The non-organic ones contain anticoagulant, which will stop you being able to make tofu. Next to the bottle is the Tofu Press. The Tofu Press is made of two parts. You have the plunger, which goes into the press and will squash the tofu into a shape. And also you have a cloth made of muslin that you'll line the thing with. I've got a jug, a teaspoon, 2 sachets of Nigari coagulant. If you don't have that, you can use lemon or lime juice. A wooden spoon, a pair of scissors, and the most important thing of all, the thermometer. The first thing I'm going to do here is to put the soy milk into a pan. Now this carton contains 1 litre, so I'll put that into the pan. And then, using your thermometer, I'll turn it the right way up, you want your temperature of your soya milk to reach no higher than 85 degrees Celsius. Obviously I've just put that in the pan, so it's going to take a couple of minutes. But while that's happening, I'm going to put the muslin cloth into the plastic jug, and when the kettle boils in a moment, I'm going to cover it with boiling water and allow it to sterilise. As you can see now by looking at my thermometer, I'll zoom a little closer, we are past 80 degrees, which is the minimum temperature you want for making your tofu. The muslin cloth is soaking in some hot water. You can see the steam coming off of there. You'll see this time that I now have on my countertop a pot of herbs and spices, because I'm going to make a Moroccan style tofu today. If you're making a plain tofu, you won't add anything to it, you'll just put the Nigari sachets in, which I've taken out of their plastic paper wrapping. So now I'm just going to sprinkle in the Nigari, take out the thermometer and give it a stir. Now just a gentle stir, you don't want to do too much with it. Like that. Then you'll cover it with the lid and leave it. In the meantime, you've got to drain the water off your cloth until it's cool enough to handle. Now I'm using a wire cooling rack, because although I've sanitised and sterilised the draining board, you don't want any possible nasties getting into your tofu. So it's all been wiped down, so using a wire rack so that when I press down, the water can escape easier from the curd, and therefore you'll have a nice firm tofu. As you can see here, my muslin was very neatly folded. You can see the cross to show that I've put it dead in the middle. This is important because when I pour in the tofu mix in a moment, it's going to get pushed to the bottom, and then we're going to fold the muslin over and squash out the water. So it's important that we do that. I'm just going to check to see if this is starting to coagulate. Sorry about the steam on the camera lens. You see there's some lumps forming. Did you just see those? I'll try and find there. Can you see them on spoon? Sort of going like cottage cheese. Now, because I'm going to put spices in mine, because I want it to be a flavoured tofu, this is the time at which you'll add spices, herbs, tomato puree, or whatever else you're going to add. Don't add it until after you've added the Nigari, because otherwise what will happen is it might counteract the coagulation and it might not coagulate at all, and that will be a disaster. I'm going to stick a little bit more of this in. This is A really, really nice Moroccan blend. It's not expensive. The price on the back, £1.79, and it does do an awful lot of meals. You've got to be very careful though. It does have quite a lot of chili in it, so it can be quite spicy. There we are. I'll put that in there. Put the lid back on, and I'll see you in a minute. Right, that's had a further 2 minutes since I last added the spices. You can already see from the surface that it's separated. You see that? That's beautiful. That's exactly what we're looking for. Yeah. So now what we have to do is take the pan off the hob, and this time pour it into the muslin. Now you can see the water draining away down the drain there. Yeah, that's exactly what you want. You can see it gurgling away. Right, the next bit I don't think I can do one-handed, so I'm going to have to put it down, squash it, and then I'll show you in a moment what I've done. I haven't got anybody else to hold the camera for me, I'm afraid. As you can see, I folded 1/4 in, fold the other quarter over as well, nice and neatly. Yeah. Then fold the sides up into the middle, number 1. And number 2, I am trying to do this one-handed. Then you get your pusher and you just squeeze. Can you see all that water? Now obviously this is still very, very wet. I do normally like to leave it for a couple of minutes to work itself out and drip on its own before squashing. But as you'll see, the sides of this container, you can see that brown line where how high the tofu is inside. The aim is to get it down to this level here, so we've got to lose about 1.5 centimeters on there. As you can see, it's very, very, very liquid, and this thing is boiling hot. Now if you don't have one of these proper presses, now I bought this one from Holistic Research, and it cost about £12 with the postage, and came with 10 sachets of Nigari. They also sell sachets of Nigari and things like that as well. These cloths, however, don't last forever. I can make mine last for about 30 or 40 blocks of tofu, then I have to replace it. This one that I'm using today was a brand new one. I'm being truthful with you. As you can see now, the tofu's now been pressed down. If I take the pusher out, you'll see the light coming through better, and it's now to the level of the draining vents. Considering when we started it was right at the top, that's quite a big difference, isn't it? So all that remains now is to grab the bits of muslin and to remove the block from its squasher, and hey presto, one beautiful block of tofu. Now I like my tofu very firm, so I'm going to put this back in the press and I'm going to squeeze just a little bit more water out of it. So there you go, tofu without any problems, and made very quickly and very cheaply. Total cost of this block is around £1.50, that's about €2.